Yeah.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Bryce Smith with 10,000 Days Capital and Trading with Cody. And this is the SKTLs Weekly Volunteers Call, and I'm joined by Cabana Crypto. As you can
Well,
see, the Cabana in his background.
hello. How are you doing today?
So we get on here every week or most weeks, and we talk about the Skydle space cryptocurrency. We talk about cryptocurrency more generally, and we talk about stocks, markets, and space news. So the purpose of the Skydle's cryptocurrency, if you don't know, it's a crypto that was designed to help clean up debris in space. There's a ton of debris up there from satellites that have busted up, and that could be problematic someday if we can't exit the Earth's atmosphere anymore because of all that stuff floating around. So there was no founder tokens. Nobody made any money creating this cryptocurrency. It was all volunteer effort. And then every year we give away, make an award to give away more crypto to um, companies that are helping clean up space debris. So that's why we're here. And so with that said, I think we should start with crypto. Tell us some crypto news, Kabana.
Well, currently with Bitcoin around just hovering above the support/resistance line of 60K. I'm just seeing a lot of notifications of liquidations going on between that and Ethereum. Ethereum's like 2370 right now, so
Yeah.
they're just kind of hanging around this slosh zone. And like I said, Bitcoin just it'll get above 60K for a couple weeks, then it'll go back down below 60K for a couple weeks, and then up for a couple weeks, and it looks like we're headed back down. Let's see, the 40 week is right where we're at right now, so that
Okay.
has provided a little support. Shoot, I'm in the wrong window, or else I was going to pull the chart up for the screen here. Let's do it this way. There we go. Do. So that's in the chat there if you want to, or the bottom.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So we've had pretty much just this range of 60 to 70 that was started to get defined, I guess, late February, and it's just for more or less it's held. We had some big dips below with the German government or
Yeah.
authorities, I guess is the proper term, selling their coins in July, and then we got back up and then dipped back below at the end of the month. And then, like I said, it's just been a couple weeks up, a couple weeks down, a couple weeks up, and now it looks like we're going down. So
I saw a chart this week that said Bitcoin has like an 85% correlation to the direction of global liquidity.
yep. And it usually runs like 10 weeks behind. I think we saw the same chart, which put those together plus like a seasonally bullish month, like, or time of year, like November or October, November. The backdrop is there, but will the funds be there this time? I think we're kind of limited to the downside unless like some major.
There's never any limit to the downside, Cabana.
Well, yes,
Anytime
there is zero. It's called
anytime
zero.
You're investing, you're always gambling. I don't care if it's treasury bonds.
Now, if you're leveraged, I guess your limits are even more compounded.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it does feel like we put in a lot of, I guess, support up here above 60, right?
I mean, if you take out that yen carry wick, I mean,
right.
it's kind of just like a bull flag, really, if you want to look at it that way. Otherwise, if you count that yen carry wick, it looks like a megaphone, which is kind of more bearish, and we have more room to go to the downside. But who knows? Like, I think that main resistance zone, 60 to 70, like I think we can get back up there maybe next week if we break through it this week. It's just the way it's kind of been going. But if global markets are strong, Um, I don't see any reason why it should just like absolutely crash unless, people are using Bitcoin as a piggy bank, which is totally possible because it gets sold down a lot of the time, especially in, um, you know, bad news circumstances because it is liquid. It is like a very liquid asset.
Yeah.
So, like, and if there's like 60,000 a coin, people are going to use that as a piggy bank to either make their nest egg a little bigger, their cushion a little bigger when they feel a little queasy, or perhaps they want to chase some AI stocks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you. Like, I don't trade Bitcoin ever. Same Bitcoin I've had forever. And I just intend on leaving it there forever, hopefully, until Bitcoin's $1 million or something,
Yeah, I used to trade it like years ago, and like I'm just kind of just spun my wheels, and I did good, did bad, and it's just like it was a giant waste of time. So I'm more like you that I haven't really touched it in I don't even know how long. Probably I got back in, I guess, a lot last summer. So I tend to trade like the cycle. So I think, we can get through this 70K, then we can eventually, with whether it be months or in the next year, get, up close to 100, if not break it. And then I think we could top out there this cycle and then maybe come back down to where we're at right now.
Right.
So
when do you think that happens through the end of the year? The big upswing? Is that what you're saying?
I think, well, the last time I was on with Cody, like my hot take was we break to new all-time highs before the end of the year. So I'm going to stick with it. So
yeah, I mean, it can happen. There's a lot of people betting right now that this Fed cut cycle is going to bring all this money back into risk assets, and what's happening in China is bringing cash back into risk assets, and Bitcoin is the riskiest of them all. Just kidding. It's not, but it is a risk asset. So, yeah, I mean, if that all plays out like a lot of people think it will, then yeah, you're probably looking at new all-time highs for Bitcoin and maybe, a 6-figure handle.
Yep, and that is where I will be taking my gains.
So you would take some profits there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I have, I guess, orders set on the way up. So just to take some off, every 5,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
So not trying to call the exact top ever. It's never a good strategy because if you're off by like $100, then you're probably holding this for another 3 years before you have a chance to get back to where you were.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how Ethereum will do, because that, like, when Bitcoin goes down, it goes down more, and when it goes up, it tends to overperform. But Bitcoin usually tops out before Ethereum, if any previous cycles are any indication. So we could see Bitcoin top out, and then that money usually sloshes over to Ethereum for a little bit, and then perhaps this time is different. You never know.
Yeah, I don't own any Ethereum, and I really don't follow it that closely. But how is the Ethereum ETF done?
You just mean in terms of funds?
Yeah, just like is the money going like into the ETF like it did with the iBit?
I don't think it was anywhere near that volume. I thought it kind of tailed off faster, but I don't have that one in front of me.
In space news, there's always exciting things happening, but I think a SpaceX crew made it to the ISS to save the stranded Boeing astronauts.
What were they going to be there till like next February or something?
Yeah, they're going to be there a long ass time.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but yeah, like they've already been there several months, and now they're going to be there several more months. Christmas on the ISS, I think.
Oh, okay. So they are still going to be there for what did the SpaceX thing do? They just take them supplies or something?
Yeah, I guess. But I
Hmm.
remember reading the article and it saying that they weren't going to come back until like next year.
Oh,
I'm going to Google that and see if I'm
well,
crazy.
maybe they like it there.
February, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. What's the? I guess they just took supplies.
Oh, all right. Well,
I was
perhaps
really hoping
there was a
just
Christmas
for
tree and or ornaments involved as well.
yeah, it's like they needed their Christmas presents. Maybe some candy for Halloween.
There you go.
I really thought for um, theatrical purposes, it would be amazing if Elon personally went to the ISS to save the Boeing astronaut. That there's no way he would do that, of course, but damn, I think that would be good
Yeah.
television and good marketing and a fu to Boeing.
Yeah, kick Boeing while they're down.
Yeah, and Boeing is having its many problems. They just keep compounding. Company has a new CEO, and their workers are striking. And so I think the new CEO is a woman. Is it a she? I can't remember. And she's having to deal with all that on top of Boeing's billions of dollars of losses. No, it's a guy. His name's Kelly though.
The man named Kelly.
Yeah, and so no offense to any Kellys out there.
That's right. Or Stacy's or Pat's.
Yeah. Right. And but no, so he's got a lot on his plate for an iconic American company. The stock has not done well.
And I have a low ball bid in, but I doubt it gets hit.
Let me guess, like 125.
Well, it's higher than that. I guess
Okay,
a medium ball.
But, yeah. All right. So
yeah, I thought about that, but I was
like I bought Boeing during COVID, that March 2020 sell off. I think it was below 100, and it got back to 100, and I sold it. So it really wasn't that great of a trade. It could have been much better. But yeah, I mean, it's not like we make fun of Boeing a lot, but it is concerning because it's such an important company for the country.
I would say.
They make all of our airplanes except for the ones that Airbus makes, and Airbus is French. And then the space program, their partnership with Lockheed, ULA, and then everything else that they're working on for the defense side as well. So yeah, Boeing needs to get their stuff figured out. I hope they do soon, and return to profitability. I think they're trying to raise like $10 billion in a secondary stock transaction. I think that was the news yesterday. That. So yeah, I mean they're spending a lot of money right now.
Well, if they're not building any planes, then they can't have any accidents.
Yeah, anytime. That is true. Always a silver lining.
Hopefully, they can clear that mess up when they come back. So yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing else happens to.
I think maybe there's a chance that Boeing's space division and the commercial division get split up at some point. I think that might make things cleaner and might just kind of, breathe new life into the company, unlock some shareholder value. If I was CEO, that's what I'd do. And then, that way the commercial side can focus on the airplanes and the space guys can focus on the space stuff. But I think it's just turned into this mega bureaucracy, heavy at the top, and needs reorganized.
And how much are they raising, did you say?
I think 10 billion.
10 billion.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll raise 10 billion and go buy Rocket Lab.
Yeah. Rocket Lab stock has been pretty much on fire for the last 2-3 months. They keep launching things, but they still got a long ways to go. It's a uphill battle fighting against SpaceX, and eventually Blue Origin will start launching. Eventually the UALA might start launching again. Starships. SpaceX wants to do like 4 Starship launches or something in the next few months.
When is the very next one?
I'm looking it up.
Oh, is that next week? End of next week? No, maybe not.
Google says it's scheduled for today. I don't think.
Oh, no earlier than October 12th is what I'm seeing.
Okay. So, I mean, that's exciting. If Starship, we've talked about it a lot as well, but it can carry like 100 tons of mass to orbit. It could if you could break down Boeing 737, I think you could pack it in there and haul the thing to orbit in a Starship. I'm gonna see how much a Boeing 737 weighs.
Then rebuild it and send it to Mars.
Yeah, and fly it around space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, easy, 90,000 pounds, so 45 tons. You could haul 2 of them.
There you go. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
Starship test flight. SpaceX government paperwork prevented it from flying Starship quickly, blah, blah, blah. On October 2nd, which is today.
So they were scheduled to fly today.
A notice to local mariners was released that listed a launch operation occurring on the 12th. So 10 days from today.
Your screen, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah. So 10 days from today, supposedly.
Cool. And I think this time they're shooting for a successful landing of the booster and the potentially the upper stage 2. I don't know if they're going to try to land that, but I think they want the booster to land on the land, not in the ocean, and have it be caught by the Megazilla, Godzilla arms, whatever they call that thing. Typically what SpaceX has been doing is when the booster comes back down, it lands in the ocean so it can't hurt anybody or land on someone's house or something. But last time they basically had a successful splashdown of the booster. So this time they're going to go for it. They're going to try to put it on land. And if they can catch the booster on Godzilla, that'll be a major feat. And then, it's off to the races with reusability. Because once you can reuse those rockets, the costs collapse. And so that's how SpaceX has been able to do what they do is reusability. Those Falcon boosters, they fly like 25, 30 times and they're still going.
Didn't one in the last couple of months tip over into the sea?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was landing on one of the drone ships and it tipped over. So it was the first that booster had launched like 23 times or something.
Oh, okay, that's fine. It's a reef now. So
yeah, yeah, we got to keep something going down there and give the fishes a home.
Yeah.
So no, I mean SpaceX is incredible. It's hard; you can't deny their success and what they've been able to do for the space industry in terms of bringing costs down and opening up access to space.
And bailing out Boeing, and
yes, literally saving lives now potentially. I mean, I don't know that those guys would have something bad would happen to them, but somehow they had to get back off the ISS. You can't stay up there forever.
And paving the way for what stock symbols lunar, but what's the
Intuitive Machines?
Intuitive Machines.
Yeah,
they have a lot of stuff that they send up there.
So Intuitive Machines is a small cap stock we started buying recently. Full disclosure, we also own SpaceX in the private markets.
And you had owned Intuitive and sold it.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps I missed the update. What was the final kick to get you back in? Be like, you know what? It's okay to get back into this one.
Our thinking has been that SpaceX is causing the cost of getting to orbit to go down exponentially. So it's opening up access to space. Well, there's only a handful of companies that are actually capitalizing on that. One of those is Lunar or Intuitive Machines. They have these actually really large contracts with NASA They were just recently awarded like a $5 billion long-term contract, and so they're trying to build like literally like a moon economy and all the infrastructure to handle that. So this most recent contract was for, I think, a communications network. So basically, it will allow like video streaming, like live 4K video streaming between the moon and Earth, and ships in between. And so maybe Intuitive Machines could be the Verizon Wireless of outer space. I don't know. So it's a long shot. It's very speculative. The company's losing money, and so it's not like a major bet for us. But yeah, we think like those are the kind of revolutionary companies that we want to find and own early, and then hopefully they're successful and it all works out. But you never know with these kind of small startups.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've got these, now, I mean, they're probably coming up on $10 billion worth of NASA contracts for moon stuff. They were the first company to land a private piece of equipment on the moon. They did that earlier this year, and it also tipped over. So.
I was gonna say that fizzled out. Like,
yeah.
When did they?
It like landed on a rock, and one of the legs hit a rock, and so the thing tipped over.
Yeah.
So that's the trend this year. This was the year of the tipping in space, and
the great tipping.
Yeah, the thing did survive, and they were able to get a lot of data off of it. They got paid by everyone that sent cargo on board that lunar module, and it was alive for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it sent data back. So, for the first time for a small company that was worth like at the time $500 million, like it's not bad. So they've got 3 more of those missions. I think they're working on a new lunar rover design. So like it'll, basically be a Ferrari driving around on the moon. That's what I picture. And so lunar rover, lunar modules, they're going to go search for ice and water, and now build a cellular network.
Sweet.
So there's a lot of stuff happening in space.
So ET can phone home.
But, Starship will even make it like, if Intuitive Machines launches its next cargo on Starship, it'll be 10x cheaper for them. So that'll be a good thing.
There you go. Cut those margins down.
Yeah.
Or expand those margins, I should say.
Yeah.
Cut expenses. Yeah.
Well, Cabana, I know you have some places to be, so if you have...
Yes, I must cheer on my local birds. So
yeah.
Last chance, last call.
Well, give us a final word here.
Final word.
How about an election prediction and what that will do to the cryptos?
Well,
if you want, up to you. If you want.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I've given them in recent weeks, and I don't know. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I find it curious that Donald Trump seems to be, well, he won in 2016, obviously. Arguably, he won in 2020, except about 3 a.m, 5 states, just automatically flipped overnight. So, but some say he won 2020.
Yeah,
his polling metrics,
some including him. Trump,
right?
Trump says that.
But what's funny is like his polling metrics are arguably the ones that I've seen for the most part are better than 2020, where he got like the most votes of an incumbent or whatever. So statistically, I think if the votes were counted correctly, I think he would win. The only obstacle is Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. I don't trust the governors of any of those states, and they are not. They're doing things like suing to keep other names on the ballot and just all sorts of chicanery. It's like, well, if you wanted a fair election, would you not honor these requests, and would you want to clean up your voter rolls? Even in Arizona, there's like an extra 120,000 that they was like, oh, it's just 90,000, and then it ended up being like 219,000 or something. That people that shouldn't have been on rolls. But anyway, I say all that to be like, statistically, Trump will win, but they're not going to count it correctly. So sad to say, I'm going to go with Kamala winning, because it's also funny that the betting odds are still with Kamala, even though a lot of these polls and stats are Trump.
Yeah.
So I just don't trust it. It's sad for me to say that as a U.S. citizen, but I've seen enough. I saw enough last time. But if Trump were to win, obviously Bitcoin would go hard, in my opinion. And here's like the kicker on that. I think Ethereum would way overperform Bitcoin, because then decentralized finance and everything would just blow up. I think we would have just kind of like a boom there, because, maybe some people are just uncertain about what's going on, and that's kind of capped Ethereum. I don't know, but that's a interesting theory to think about. And he's even building on Ethereum, I think, too.
Yeah, he launched some crypto or something this
Liberty Phi Fee Tree, I don't know, but yeah, the fork of Aave, I guess, I guess he is launching it. We chatted about that last show, so I have no interest in doing that. But they were doing like pre-registration to where you could get on a list and send in your personal info, and I'm just like, that's not crypto, but
right.
Okay. It's DeFi, but we're going to collect all of your information.
And, all your personal
centralize that. So yeah.
Wonderful.
So, what is your call on the election before we go?
Say again.
What is your call on the election before we go?
I personally think that there's a chance that Trump actually sweeps and wins every swing state, or like 6 of the 7 swing states or something like that. And I think I'm in the huge minority on that, but I think there are a lot of problems with the left in this country right now, and I think they've moved too far left, and I think ordinary people don't agree with a lot of that, and Republicans have problems too. There's no doubt, but that's my hot take. I wish
that's part of my reasoning for saying statistically he'll win. And one of those very interesting polls is close to where I am, which is Virginia, and the early voter turnout is far more in his favor than it was in 2020. And it is in a lot of these other states that are doing early voting, plus the polls. So I think you're onto something there. Like I want that to happen. Like I can understand why you're going with that, and I want to believe it, but I just don't trust some of these swing states that it comes down to. But if he were to come out and win a Virginia, that would be another swing state that Kamala would have to win. So
and on the voting stuff, I don't know why. I think we have all these national holidays for a lot of things. Why can't we just make the first Tuesday a national holiday? You get all day long. You can go vote, and then you can get rid of all the mail-in and the early voting. And I know this is controversial. Show up
because
at the
other side can't cheat.
Show up at the poll with your ID like you would if you had
That's racist. That's racist.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, that's what everybody's going to say. That's totally not. I think it's racist to think that minorities don't have IDs. That's
exactly. Fine. But this country is so soft.
Yeah. So I think we should get a national holiday. Everybody should get 24 hours to go vote in your state, in person, like we do for so many other things. And if you believe in democracy and you want to protect democracy, then we should have to protect the integrity of our elections. So there you go. Hot take.
Yeah. You had to have an ID to get around during COVID, but not to vote.
Yeah.
So,
it's crazy.
Make it make sense. Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, Cabana. I don't know if we're gonna get any viewers next week because we probably made everybody mad, but that's all right.
Meh. Come back for more hot takes.
Yeah, more hot takes. You don't have to agree with us. You just have to be entertained.
Put yours in the comments, fam. All right, there you go.
All right.
Good
Back
stuff.
to work.
All right, see ya.
See ya.